Let's just dive right in. We're looking at the Asteroid Man text today, and honestly, it's this incredibly raw, fascinating piece of grassroots storytelling. It literally distills the classic hero's journey down to its absolute bare bones. In this explainer, we're going to unpack how a totally ordinary guy living in a city gains godlike powers, builds an elemental suit, and fights these massive, exhausting wars, all in the span of just 3 days. It's a remarkably fun and hyper-efficient narrative, and there's a lot we can learn from it. But before we map out that timeline, we kind of have to ask ourselves, how can a story strip away all the modern blockbuster fluff to deliver pure, unadulterated character progression? I mean, we're so used to these 2.5-hour movies that drag out the origin story with, endless exposition. But the text we're examining today doesn't do that at all. It basically asks, what happens when you boil a myth down to its absolute bare essentials? How fast can a character transform from an ordinary citizen to a universe-defending titan? Well, that brings us right to the inciting incident. The text reads, quote, "An asteroid crashed into his house and got supernatural powers." No elaborate laboratory accident here, no radioactive spider, just a completely random cosmic event that plunges our protagonist straight into the absolute chaos of the narrative. The universe literally crashes through his roof. It's abrupt, it's destructive, and it instantly bridges the gap between the mundane, everyday life of this guy and the infinite scale of the cosmos. And that brilliantly sets up the breakneck chronological myth-building arc of our story. We're moving at an incredible pace here. Day 1 is the initial trauma and getting the powers. Day 2 is the refinement of that power through pure ingenuity. And Day 3, well, that's the ultimate trial by fire. It's the entire monomyth, the departure, the initiation, and the return, compressed into what's basically a long weekend. So let's peel back the layers of this timeline. Starting with Part 1, the asteroid incident. What's super interesting here is the immediate emotional side effect of these powers. The text specifically points out that his eyes glowed because he got anger. So he isn't just handed this cool suite of abilities to play around with. The hero is instantly consumed by an intense, glowing rage. The cosmic power is completely overwhelming his human system. It's actually a wonderfully nuanced detail, showing us that gaining supernatural power is a deeply volatile, emotionally destabilizing experience. So the really crucial point is that his first major victory isn't just flying up into the sky and blasting another asteroid, though, he absolutely does do that. The true victory is what happens right after. He goes up, uses his new power to destroy an asteroid, and then, as the text says, his anger slowed. He relaxes, he sleeps the night. He's completely conquered his own supernatural anger. He successfully regulates this overwhelming new emotional state before resting, which is this profound moment of psychological grounding before the real work begins. Moving right along to Part 2, forging the elemental suit. He wakes up the next morning and suddenly acquires all the nature powers. We're talking the classic elements: fire, air, water, and earth. But I really have to highlight the linguistic charm of the final point included alongside those traditional elements, the mixed element. It's just a brilliant stroke of open-ended world-building. It implies this boundless, limitless combination of forces that the hero now has total dominion over. He isn't just an avatar of one specific thing. He is literally the master of all natural phenomena. But raw power isn't enough. It needs structure. So the hero gets an idea to build a suit. And the inventive, hyper-specific process detailed here is absolutely wild. He doesn't just put the suit on like a normal piece of clothing. No, he uses his newly acquired Earth powers to literally fuse the engineered technology directly into his own body. It's this startling, almost visceral moment of body modification where the line between the organic man and the manufactured suit completely vanishes. By fusing it, he permanently gains the suit's abilities, becoming something entirely new. Which brings us to Part 3. The 10-day battle. The newly upgraded hero steps outside and immediately comes face to face with a terrifying new threat known as the Earth Master. And notice that thematic resonance here, our hero just used Earth powers to fuse his suit to his body, and now his very first major antagonist is the master of that exact same element. It's a direct challenge to his newfound mastery, literally the perfect narrative foil. Now, just as he steps up to face this monumental threat, completely alone, watch the dramatic shift in scale. Out of nowhere, the cavalry arrives. The text simply and powerfully states, suddenly his friends came. It is a flawless execution of the classic trope where allies assemble to fight the monsters at the darkest possible hour. We don't need their backstories. Their arrival alone instantly shifts the scale of this whole thing from a solo duel to a massive, sprawling ensemble war. And let me tell you, the war that follows is incredibly grueling. 10 days of battle, battle, battle. That's not a typo, by the way. It's a brilliant literary emphasis of pure exhaustion and dramatic scale. By repeating the word, the author treats this multi-day war with the immense gravity and pacing of a high-octane anime epic. You can practically feel the sheer physical toll of swinging, blasting, and fighting without a single moment of rest. To put that into perspective, the staggering duration of this climax is exactly 10 days. After an exhausting 10 full days of relentless combat, a conflict that, by the way, lasts over 3 times longer than his entire origin story up to that point, the hero finally, definitively wins the war against the monsters. The battle's over, the Earthmaster is defeated. Our battered, triumphant hero finally heads back home. But wait, there's part 4, the never-ending fight. Right as he returns to the supposed safety of his home, which, remember, is the exact same place that was destroyed by an asteroid just a couple of weeks prior, he's immediately attacked by another monster. There's no parade, no medal ceremony, nothing like that. He's simply attacked again, forcing him to fight with his powers and win all over again. The cycle of violence literally just continues the exact moment he steps through his front door. So it leaves us to consider the stark reality of this mythology. The Asteroid Man text masterfully reminds us that the battle against evil isn't just a one-and-done event, right? It's an eternal, exhausting cycle. And honestly, it's exactly why these raw, unfiltered grassroots stories resonate so deeply with our imaginations. They strip away the illusion of a permanent, happily ever after and show us that true heroism is really just having the sheer willpower to wake up, fuse your armor to your chest, and win the fight day after day after day. So, does a hero ever truly get to rest? We'll leave you to think about that.